Okay.
What's up, everybody? It is Casey with Two Worlds Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Renfield to my Dracula. It's Jake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I haven't seen that movie though, so that's a reference that I don't really understand.
Well, I mean, it's still like
I'm Nick Cage.
It's still from Dracula. Nick Cage's Dracula.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the movie's pretty fun. It's like 100% like Nick Cage being fun. Like the main character, I don't care. At least for me, I did not care much about. It was like this crazy Nick Cage as Dracula is like actually pretty awesome. But Renfield's from Dracula mythos in general. He's like one of his toadies that just gets him people to eat, basically.
Oh, I gotcha. So is it a comedy or is it a serious movie?
I'd say comedy horror, because there's like parts in it, but it was funny because it's like very much about a abusive relationship that Renfield and Dracula are in, and like Renfield kind of breaks away. And you know how like Dracula, like vampires have the thing where it's like, oh, they can't come inside your house unless they're invited in.
Yes.
Well, there's a part where Dracula like shows up at Renfield's house and he's inside the house. And he's like, how'd you get in here? It's like, you have a welcome mat.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I was like, that. I like that.
Right on. Well, the game just ended, but I'm guessing you did not look at Monday Night Football scores.
Man, I've sadly been too busy to get, to miss out on my favorite thing.
Well, I'll just let you guess who won tonight.
Okay.
And I'll even give you their records if you need it, if that'll help the guess at all. But
it might not, because like I bet against the Bears last time we were on. I was like, Bears aren't going to win, and they won. Their one win of the season.
One win in the last 14 games. So yep. We got the Green Bay Packers versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'm going to say Packers.
Incorrect.
Ooh, dang.
It was a close one, though. The Raiders won 17-13.
Only reason why I said Packers is because I saw a meme where it's like basically like the life cycle of a Raiders fan, where it's like we get excited at the beginning of the season, and then we just start losing, and then we lose a bunch, we don't make the playoffs, and then we get excited for the next season. I'm like, sounds like Bears fans too.
You're damn right.
In the NBA, as we're just talking sports, we got the game of the weird looking tall guys tonight. It's the OKC Thunder versus the Spurs. Chet Holmgren versus Victor Wembanyama. It's like, boy, you guys look like, it looks like they both, for those that are listening that don't watch NBA, they both look like when you make a character in a game and you're like, I'm going to make them really tall, but very skinny. And that's them. They look like if they're the breeze, they could break.
Yes. Victor legit looks like Slender Man.
Yeah. And Chet is the white version of that.
Yeah.
Like it's hilarious looking.
I don't know. I saw a couple of highlight plays though on Instagram, and Victor's looking pretty good out there against the other newbies.
The one thing I will say though is like the game was at the half and there was already like 80 to something else. Like no defense being played. So like, I mean, I wasn't expecting much, but still, it's like when Victor goes against Embiid or Giannis or anyone with a sort of bit of girth, it's gonna be over.
Yeah, the greatest defenseman in the entire league, Rudy Gobert.
Oh, dude. They're both French, so maybe he'll say something mean to Rudy, and Rudy will start crying.
That would be funny. I didn't know Victor was French.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like everyone was like, the Spurs won him because he's foreign, and so they're like, because that was
a weird thing to say.
Well, back like I know you didn't keep up with the Spurs back then, but it was like the big era. It was like they called it the UN because it was like we had Tim Duncan from the Virgin Islands, Thiago Splitter from Brazil, Tony
Oh,
Parker
yeah?
from France, Manu from Argentina, Boris Diaw from France. And it was like they would just like be like, oh, the ball's going around the world as they're like passing it and stuff. It's just I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. There's very few Americans on this team.
Right. That's funny. I didn't know that Tim Duncan wasn't American either.
I mean, U.S. Virgin Islands, so he still has his American card, but not from the continental U.S.
Right. I'm just glad the preseason starts, and hockey's in the next week or so as well. Actually, I think Wednesday is the Penguins' first game. They play the Blackhawks.
They already started the preseason with the hockey, right?
Maybe it's the first actual game is on Wednesday.
Because I thought I saw something on. I'm gonna start calling Twitter Twix. I saw something on Twix, and I thought it was like Penguins played the Wild, I think, or some not the Wild, another team, the Predators, I think.
I gotcha. I'm gonna blow my nose, so I'm gonna turn off my camera for a second.
Oh, what you don't want to get people with weird fetishes, something to be very into.
I really, really don't. So just keep talking about sports for a sec.
Yeah, because that's what the comic book podcast fans want is more sports talk. But yeah, I think the Pacers are going to be pretty good this year. That's my two teams are the Spurs and the Pacers. For those that don't know, but yeah, they got a good young team. The rookie's looking good, and I'm into it. What about you? How's your team looking?
They had a little pickup last week. We'll see how he pans out. I think he has promise.
I'm excited to see how it works. Like the only thing I'm worried about with old Dame is if he handles the ball too much. That's the one worry. Because like right now it's like you have, like his defense isn't going to be as good as Drew, but everything else is better. And it's like he's surrounded by good defenders now, which he hasn't really ever been. And then Giannis now is surrounded by shooters that are, elite. Like Dame is super fucking elite, and he's a closer, so it should be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm excited to watch way more games than I get to watch a fair amount of games, but I'm going to try to watch more than the average amount of games.
Yeah.
It's just fucking finding it sometimes.
Dude, it's so frustrating because I want to get Bally Sports because that's how I can watch the Pacers games. It's the only way I can watch the Pacers games. But the problem is Bally Sports doesn't have a PlayStation app, and I don't have any other way of streaming on my TV unless I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put it on my laptop and then plug it in and then and do all that shit to watch basketball games. I'm not gonna do that.
You should be able to cast it from your phone.
My TV is old. That's the big problem. I don't know if I can cast from my phone to my PlayStation because the TV is not a smart TV.
I gotcha. Man, really though, putting it on your laptop and plugging it into your TV is not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, but my TV's hanging on the wall, and it's hanging on the wall on my fireplace, and I don't have a table or anything to set the thing on, so it's just kind of, yeah, I'm like, you guys make a fucking app, just put it on the PlayStation Network. That's all I'm asking.
It's not going to happen.
I want to give you money, Bally Sports, which it sounds like I don't because it sounds like they're terrible, but
yeah. It's always it annoys me how stuff jumps around so much, who's got the rights to it. It's like, come on, we already have all these other ones. Now I need the fucking Bally Sports one too.
Well, what pisses me off is we paid for the NBA app that one time, and they're like, "Hey, you want to watch this game?" Oh, dude, I would love to watch this game. Too bad. You're in the area for that, so you have to download your whatever app and pay them instead of us. It's I paid $200 for this app.
Yeah.
I should be able to watch whatever I want.
Yeah, we got finessed that year for sure.
Yeah.
But all right, we'll get into our episode. Before we start, I would like to say, because I didn't mention it last week, that the newest D&D episode of the Testing Room is out. They just put out an episode today, so it would be last week's episode for them. Yeah, check it out. I DM for them. We're on our 11th episode, and it was a good time. So check it out if you're so inclined.
I just had a really stupid idea. You need to talk to Mike and Levi and have them do a D&D theme song for that. So it'd be like TNT by AC/DC, but they'd be like D&D Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know how the rest of the song would go, but
yeah,
it'd be fun.
I think Mike would rather die than do an AC/DC cover.
It's be like, dude, you're a musician. Make it better then.
All right, on to Mad Lib. Mad Lib before trivia. Casey, pick a number between 1 and 5.
3.
Okay, we're back to SpongeBob.
That's my SpongeBob laugh. Was it good?
Sounded like Mr. Krabs.
Oh, well, this is my Mr. Krabs laugh. Was it good?
Yes. Okay, we are starting off very strong. A verb ending in ing.
Driving.
Okay.
I like to toss a wrench in your old plan sometimes.
A past tense verb. A noun.
Shirt.
What is it?
Shirt.
Shirt.
Yeah.
Type of animal.
Sasquatch.
Exclamation.
Pasta.
Okay. Noun.
Dinosaur.
Verb. Okay. Plural noun starting with the letter P.
Pussies.
Good Lord. Why did I think it would be any other word?
It could have been like penises. Peni.
Well, good news, Casey. Wait, no, never mind. Never mind. I thought I was going to ask for another plural noun, but it's a type of food, plural, starting with P.
Pussy.
No.
Okay, fine. Penisers. Let's go with
type of food.
Yeah. Anything can be food if you're hungry enough. Pancakes.
This is off subject. You a pancake or a waffle guy?
If I'm being honest, I like both.
Right, but what if you could choose? They're both sitting there.
It just depends. If there's chicken with the waffles, chicken and waffles all day, every day. But anymore, it's a pancake. I've grown out of the waffle love. Not the waffle love, still love them, but the waffle must-haves. What about you?
Waffles.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I like that they hold the butter, they hold the syrup. That's my thing.
The other thing I hate so much with waffles and pancakes And hey, everyone down below, let me know if I'm alone or not in this. But when you go to a restaurant and they give you, your stuff, and they just have a nice slab of cold butter on top, so you try to like put it on, and it just tears it all up.
Yep, I agree. All right, back to the Mad Lib. A verb.
Eat.
Adjective.
Slimy.
Number.
69.
Adjective.
Shitty.
Adjective.
Rusty.
Noun.
Socks.
Person.
Jake.
And noun.
Robot.
All right. Here we go.
Can you do it in a SpongeBob voice?
No.
How about a Squidward?
No.
Mr. Krabs?
No. No voices.
Okay, one last one. How about Pearl? Oh, no. How about Sandy Cheeks? Do a Southern drawl?
No.
Damn. You were thinking that one.
I was thinking about it. All right. Welcome aboard. If you're driving this, you've recently been fucked to work at the finest eating shirt in all of Bikini Bottom, the Krusty Sasquatch. Pasta! Since it's your first day on the dinosaur, you need to cum the phrase poop. Poop stands for Pussies Order Our Pancakes. Now that you understand poop, I bet you think you're ready to eat a slimy patty. Ha! Think again. You're 69 steps closer to learning the top shitty formula, but you've still got a long journey ahead. Remember, you want to be a crusty employee, like Squidward. And that's another important sock to remember. Never, and I mean ever, be like Jake. They'll never be Robot of the Week.
Fuck, that's rude.
Yeah, it is. But there you have it. And you know what? I think I could be Robot of the Week.
Dude, I've talked, like, anytime I go to the old monocles, Mark stops me. He tells me, I miss old Jakey. He was Robot of the Week every week of my heart. Couldn't actually do it because of politic reasons, and I had to make sure Alex got it instead. But I miss him.
Oh God, that is something nobody listening to this will understand.
I'm just like, dude, I just want to water.
All right, trivia time, baby. As usual, I've got 3 cards, 2 questions each. Here we go. What branch of the military did War Machine James Rhodes serve?
I'm pretty sure it's the United States Air Force.
You are incorrect.
Oof. Starting off weak.
The Marine Corps.
Ah, shit.
I'm confident you'll know this one. Who assembled a team of heroes to battle the Chaos King and his forces in the Chaos War? Is it A, Star Fox, B, Hercules, or C, the Black Knight?
It's Hercules. I was like, they're either gonna say Hercules or Amadeus. I was like, if Amadeus is another choice, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. I realized once the choices were presented, I was like, oh, well, that's going to give it away.
Yeah.
Sin is the daughter of what Captain America foe?
It's Red Skull, right?
It is Red Skull, yeah.
I only knew that because, like, what was the book where she was like, oh, was it Original Sin? Maybe I don't remember. Because like there was the book where she was like the big bad, and like they got the the different hammers and all that crap.
Well, I mean, Original Sin is when Thor lost Mjolnir.
It might have been from, I don't remember. I just remember like they all
Or
got,
no, that was Fear itself. Anyway,
yeah,
whatever.
she was one of the bads in a Marvel event, and I remember reading that, and I was like, I didn't even know this person existed.
Right. And this is multiple choice if you need it. What longtime Avenger foe was constantly looking to impress his love, Mistress Death?
It can't be Thanos because he just wanted to make everything perfectly balanced. I'm a big fan. It's Thanos.
It is indeed. The other choices were Kang and the Grim Reaper, the Grip Reaper.
Ooh, it's my nickname in high school.
All right, final card. Marvel's title, Tales of Suspense, changed its title to what name starting with its 100th issue?
Is it Hulk?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's Captain America.
Oh, okay.
That's why outside of the Golden Age, you can't find early issues of Captain America because it starts at 100.
I gotcha. What was Hulk? What was Hulk that they changed the title of?
So Hulk, that's Tales to Astonish.
Oh, okay.
Hulk went 1 to 6, Tales to Astonish, and then started back up at 102.
Yeah. I knew it was another one of those things like that, but I was like, I don't own a comic shop, so I don't know the numbers.
Get good, kid. All right, final question. Which core member of the Avengers did not have a solo comic series as part of the widely popular Heroes Reborn launch? Was it A, Cap, B, Iron Man, or C, Thor?
I'm going to guess Thor, but I really
Correct.
don't know. Okay. Because like I can picture, no offense to Rob Liefeld, who I know is listening right now. I can picture the shitty Liefeld drawings of Captain America for sure, because it's, everyone knows that one, and then Iron Man. But I'm like, I'm not really picturing his Thor,
Yeah. Where is the one Iron Man that I don't, and Rob didn't do it, but it was another one of those guys, the Image guys. Yeah. I'm probably butchering his name, but Wilsh Portaccio. He was one of the founding Image guys too. But it is real fucking bad. Share my screen here.
Yeah, that's not good. The Iron
There's
Man hugging him.
Doing all of them.
Yeah.
You'll notice how the wings are on this side of his hair, but then tucked behind his head over here because that's how helmets work.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was real bad.
It really was.
Oof. I hate it. All right, but there's trivia.
Not my best. Not my best work.
No, not your best work, but that's all right. Can't win them all. Sometimes you're the Chicago Bears of Marvel trivia.
Comic book trivia.
Yep. Okay. Oh, I gotta pull up a picture for one of my news things.
Okay. Well, while you do that, I'll just mention my one news thing really quick. So we're getting or I think it's already started, but there's a Kickstarter for Godzilla X Kong prequel book by Legendary, because Legendary is like, oh, we don't have any money to produce this ourselves. We need to go to Kickstarter, the thing that's known for, helping creators that want to self-produce make stuff. Like, we need the help too. We're not a giant company or anything.
Yeah,
That shit always annoys me.
I agree. That's a very silly choice there. So are you doing that?
No. I mean, I thought about doing the last one, but I'm still like, nah. And then like this one, it's just like, oh, cool. Hopefully you get it before the movie comes out.
Probably not, though.
Yeah. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah. Tom King is giving us a one shot in January for his character Trinity, which is the daughter of Wonder Woman. So if you're just clawing to get some Trinity, look forward to that. I have no idea who's on the art though.
I'm gonna say this. This isn't really a knock on, Thomas King, like I like to do, but just in general, Wonder Woman needs another book. Just like I say Flash does and Green Lantern needs one, because it's like she's getting like as many characters as she has that are also Wonder characters. It's getting it to Batman levels and Superman levels, It's like there's too many.
They're well, so they tried with two different Nubia series, neither of which sold very well. And then they're doing some sort of Amazon's book, but I think that's supposed to be. Dang it, I can't remember it. It's not Trial of the Amazons because that's been a thing, but it's something like that.
Why not just do well? Because we've talked about this before, but what was her original book?
Sensation Comics.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Just come out with Sensation Comics again, have it be focused on the different Wonder Girls and Trinity and all that stuff, and Nubia.
I agree. They did a Sensation Comics miniseries in like 2017, 2018. That was
Remember you getting
good.
that?
Yeah. It was just like an anthology book, but yeah.
But just like
even Wonder Girls, like with Batgirls.
Yeah.
And have Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan do it.
That would be awesome.
Because they had both their books stolen from them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, DC, give us a fucking call. We're printing you money with these ideas.
Exactly. Like, we don't like money.
All right. The info came out for the top 10 single issues of September. So I'm going to keep that going. Number 10 surprised me. Jean Grey, number 2.
Was it like a first appearance, or did it have like a lot of ramifications with the X-Men book? Because I know crazy stuff happened in that.
I mean, I was pretty sure it was one of those retros, man.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know for sure. Then at number 9, we've got Action Comics 1057. Number 8, Gotham War Red Hood number 1. People like Red Hood.
Yeah.
And it was written by Rosenberg, so it was probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Number 7, Detective Comics 1074. Number 6, Avengers number 5. In 5th place, we got Void Rivals number 4. Again, pretty crazy for an Image title.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 was Invincible Iron Man number 10. I believe that's the issue where Tony marries Emma Frost. And then into the top 3, we've got at 3rd place, Flash #1. Number 2 was Immortal Thor #2. And in 1st place, honestly, surprised me, Ultimate Invasion #4.
Wow. Not a single Spider-Man. I'm surprised.
No. And I didn't even think about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That should tell you that people are fucking sick of Zeb Wells Spider-Man.
Right.
But it is nice to see Marvel and DC split there, because normally it's like Batman, and that's the only DC book.
Yeah. I like that Flash was as high up as it was.
Yeah. I didn't read that one Flash issue, but
yeah. Well, I figured you would.
People say that it was pretty good.
You love Cy Spurrier, so I figured you were going to read it. I actually do want to talk about that when we get to our comics, since I don't have any other comics to talk about.
Sure. Okay, and then Casey and I just wanted to really quick touch on, and we weren't on the ball this year. We would have done like a proper episode on this, but just some like spooky books that we like, since it's October and you might be in the mood for a horror comic or just a creepy comic. So I don't remember how many we said we'd talk about, but I've got a couple in mind, Casey. So we can just kind of go back and forth. But a more recent one that I liked was the Dead Boy Detectives. Thought that was really good.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm going to go Hotel. That one's a fun anthology book. It's by John Lees, and it's got some just spooky stuff all throughout.
You started to say one that I was going to say,
I know,
but I will refrain because I haven't read that many spooky books. So I will just lump together the Bloodborne comics. Those are definitely creepy, but highly entertaining.
I'm going to say, and I'm going to lump them both together, but the New 52, Animal Man and Swamp Thing, those were a lot of fun, a lot of spooky moments, and the stuff with the rot and all that stuff was pretty cool.
I actually have one from the New 52 as well, the I, Vampire series.
Never read that. Actually, I read like a few issues, but it was like, art was awesome.
Art was awesome. It only went 2 volumes, but it's just good vampire action fun. It was cool.
Okay, I'm gonna say is just like, it is creepy as shit, and the other one, it's just it fits within the Halloween aesthetic, but they're both Batman books. That's why I'm lumping together. But Batman Long Halloween, because Halloween, it's not scary at all. But then Batman the Dark Mirror, or Black Mirror. Black Mirror, yeah. That one, it's got some creepy ass moments. Mm-hmm. Scott Snyder, like, that's the one where you read that, like, how is Scott Snyder so nice and he's writing such creepy shit?
Speaking of Scott Snyder, this isn't one that I've read, but it's one that I always recommend to people looking for a spooky book based on how well it sells still. And that is the trade paperback of Witches.
That one I was okay with, but I don't know. I think it's partially because, like, when it was coming out, I was reading it in the regular books, and it kind of had like a weird, like, schedule, I guess. So, like, if I remember right, so like I wouldn't be as invested as I should have been because it took too long for it to come out. But my next one's another Scott Snyder. It's called Severed. I don't know if you remember when that one came out. That one is real creepy. I mean, unless you're like, oh no, old men who can take their teeth out and have like much worse teeth underneath that they eat kids.
Oh, but, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
Can't think of any more. So my last one I'm going to say, just for like, let's say you're not so much into like modern horror, but you like maybe Universal monsters or just any black and white, classic horror, Werewolf by Night. You can find Marvel Essentials or a Marvel Masterworks, but that is just good, like 1970s Marvel horror fun.
And I'm just gonna go with because we already talked about Mountainhead. That one's a lot of fun. Great art, fun story, just cool and creepy.
Very creepy. Very creepy. All right. So now it's time for comic reviews. I'll just say which ones I read this week, and in case you can talk about Flash if you want to.
Yeah.
I read Shazam number 4, Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons number 4, Birds of Prey number 2, Transformers number 1, The Sacrificers number 3, and Doctor Strange number 8.
I just remembered I was supposed to tell you how I thought about the Action Comics also. That first part was a lot of fun with Superman eating lunch with the guy. I like that a lot. I don't really know how I'm gonna have to wait and give it a proper judgment though on the villain seemingly knowing who Clark is, because it's like last person that tried to remember who Clark was, they had a stroke and they're in the hospital. Now Lois has his job. So I'm not super hot on that. Like it's like you just did this big thing and now they're like, this person found a way around it,
Right.
So, but okay, so Flash, the Dawn of DC issue 1 by Cy Spurrier and Mike Deodato Jr. on the art. I don't have it in front of me, but it was good. It was like genuine. Actually, put the timer on the clock. I'll talk about this in quick as a flash. We'll do like a minute timer. I'm not done. Now I have to be done talking about it anyway.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, it's really good. It does a fun introduction. You have Flash fighting gorillas, and there's a new speed thing going around. We get some Max Mercury, some Impulse. You also get Linda dealing with not having speed powers anymore and being a mom and all this other stuff. So it's like it does a lot of stuff throughout. It sets up a lot of things. I was really into it. I went in with kind of low expectations and I really liked it. I would recommend it if you guys are Flash fans. Like I was like, I'm gonna read this either way because I need a Flash book in my life. And this one didn't disappoint. The art's the art's really good, but they do like weird things with the paneling that I don't like. But other than that, it was good.
You had 16 seconds left, man. Look at you go. All right. So first up for me, and some of these Casey is going to be reading, so I will just be brief, but Doctor Strange number 8. It's written by Jed MacKay with art by Pascal Ferry. The Alex Ross cover is just so sick. But yeah, it's cool. It's, as the cover shows, Clea versus this, whatever they call him, fucking War Doctor Strange or whatever. But I like Ferry's art a little more in this than I usually do. And the action scenes are cool. And then the thing that happens on the last page is pretty wild. Pretty cool little reveal.
Nice. I'm excited to read it.
But yeah, it's Jed MacKay Doctor Strange. I like it. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Right on, buddy.
Okay, The Sacrificers, number 3. It's written by Rick Remender with art by Max Fiumara. And this book was so good. It's honestly, it's pick of the week for me. The art was really, really good. The place where like these slavers are taking the people to be sacrificed, it's just like this creepy paradise, and they're treating all of the sacrificees so nice, and they're well fed and seeing all these fun shows and everything's great. And then they're like, okay, let's go to the salon and get you all looking and feeling good for the big sacrifice. And like, the thing that they put over their heads for like perms and stuff at hair salons.
Mhm.
Well, they all go and sit in one of these, except a giant fucking needle pokes out right before it goes down on their head. And then they just start bleeding from everywhere and like liquefy, basically.
Jeez.
And this needle uh is somehow sucking up joy out of them. Um and then you find out at the end, spoiler alert, that this essence of joy is being filtered and put into cups for like the people that actually live in this paradise to drink. And I guess that's what keeps them happy and stuff like that, which I was not expecting at all. So it was a very cool reveal. Pretty creepy watching all of that happen. And like I said last time, I just love having a Rick Remender series to read every month. It's so good, and I love the art too. So it's a 10 for me. Pick of the week.
Nice, man. I really wanted to make a joke about being married with the joy sucking chairs. Be like, what is that? A marriage chair?
Womp womp. Okay. Shazam, number 4. It's written by Mark Waid with art by Dan Mora. It's fun. This dude that's like Emperor of the Moon or whatever, and Billy have a throwdown. There's also a new Queen Bee. Billy has like a weird horny teen moment with her. But just makes you feel real comfortable. But man, there's like a lot of good action shots here, and this book really shows like you would have forgotten how good Dan Mora is, right? But it's like, oh yeah, he's one of the best right now. So it was really cool. I like this book, even though it is very, very goofy. But I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
How's the dialogue? Because that was my problem. That's been kind of my problem with some of these Mark Waid writing teen books here lately.
I mean, it's not as bad as World's Finest Teen Titans. But it's not going to change your mind.
I gotcha.
All right. Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons, number 4. Written by Frank Thierry with art by Inaki Miranda. And we got old Ibra, big old crab boy on the front there. So yeah. It's a fight between Godzilla and Ibra, and it's pretty fucking cool. Godzilla looks great in this issue. I think for the sake of an entertaining comic, Ibra probably holds up a little better than he would in a movie. But yeah, it's good action between those two. I like seeing there's one scene, and yeah, I'm just gonna say it, Casey, because I'm sure you know that something like this is coming. But there's a part where Godzilla just rips off one of his pincers and just bam, just right across his head with it. Nice. And it's awesome. It's awesome. But what I won't spoil is something shows up at the end and pulls the old 1-2 Ray Rice on both Godzilla and Ibra. So
it's just hilarious. Like, I'm not gonna spoil what happens at the end when King Ghidorah shows up.
Dude, I wish it were the case. But no, it's cool, man. It's just a fun book. I enjoy reading it. 8 out of 10 for me.
Now, which do you prefer, this one or Andrew McLean's?
It's hard to say, except I don't feel like Andrew McLean's is like in the thick of it yet, you know?
Yeah.
And this one, it's like we probably have one more issue. Uh, that is tough to say. For right now, it's this one.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to say this, and I don't think that there's any controversy here, but it's like, this one feels more like a Millennium series Godzilla movie. And then like Andrew McLean's feels more like a Showa. So it's like, yeah, they're both fun, but completely different, you know? So
Yeah, the thing for me is that half of each title has people in it. One is a small girl, and one is pirates. So I gotta go with pirates.
yeah,
But
I get that.
like both.
You like both small girls and pirates?
No, I like both comics. Behave. Okay. Transformers #1. It's written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. I have never read Transformers before. Never. Barely even watched it when I was a kid because
I'm kind of surprised you barely watched it because, like, you, as much as you love a lot of those 80s cartoons, I'm like, you know, Master of the Universe, Voltron, I'm like, seems right in your alleyway.
I mean, it probably is. It's just, Voltron, He-Man, and Thundercats, I think, are cooler.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a hot take with our audience or not, but
I think it probably is because, Transformers are the ones that are probably the most popular of the four.
probably, yeah. But whatever. I like what I like. It's still, I mean, Transformers are cool. I'm just not like, I saw the first two live action ones. I know I've seen one of the old animated movies, but that's pretty much it for Transformers for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, however, this was really cool. The colors are amazing in this, but Daniel Warren Johnson knows how to do robot fighting and make it look fluid.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the two humans that are in this too. But it's one of those things where like I know Optimus and I know Bumblebee and I don't know anyone else. Like it says the character names, but if I were to just look at them, I wouldn't know who it is.
Yeah.
So everything's cool though. I think Casey's gonna love it. You did get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. I I just hope it's not one of those things where I've never read it before and I really like it. So that means that diehards are going to think it's shit. But I have to believe that Daniel Warren Johnson is a huge Transformers fan and that
Mm-hmm.
he is making this out of love and it'll be great.
I have a feeling diehards are going to love it. Like, it's kind of funny, just speaking of Transformers fans, I saw a thing, this was probably a year or two ago. Xander Cannon, who made Kaiju Max, was talking about, because he did a Transformers book that was more for kids and he made it more like the original cartoon. And the diehards hated it because, the cartoon that they grew up with, that they have their own headcanon for and how cool it was, even though it was really just a toy advert for kids to get toy, and then like, oh, this isn't the gritty thing that I imagined from whenever I, like that I think of now. And, they're throwing fits about it and stuff. It's like, it's kind of like Star Wars fans too, like where it's just like, no, I wanted it like this, even though it's something that was made for kids and it's still for kids. And I can't stand that.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling they're going to like this because it doesn't sound like it's going to be for kids.
No, definitely not. But I don't think it's not for kids.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a 9 out of 10 for me. And I really half expected for me to be like, this looks great, but it's not for me. Um, but I'm on board for another one. So,
Right on.
all right. And lastly, we've got Birds of Prey #2. It's written by Kelly Thompson, and the art is by Leonardo Romero. Love this issue too. Art is cool, much like the first one. And I like the story. It's really funny in one part because Canary Sisters being kept on Themyscira. So Dinah is like, I don't know how we're gonna get into Themyscira undetected. Like we gotta come up with a plan. And Harley's like, I got it. Don't worry about it. This one's on me. She's like, okay, Harley, can I trust you? She was like, look, you wanted me on the team. You got to trust me. Just meet me at the rendezvous point and I'll get us there. So they go to the rendezvous point and a giant megalodon comes up out of the water and King Shark pops up next to it. And Harley's like, King Shark owed me. And he says he can get us there in this shark. So everybody in. So they just get into this megalodon's mouth, and that's how they're going to go to Themyscira.
Nice.
Which I think is just so silly and hilarious. But yeah, I love how everyone's written. The only one that has like the least amount of personality right now is Zealot. She just seems like the angsty one. I'm just hoping that she gets her moment soon where I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. She's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like it. I think Kelly Thompson is killing it on this book. So it gets a 9.5. I almost gave it my pick of the week, but the first issue was pick of the week when it came out, and I didn't want to go back to back. So
it was kind of funny in Wildcats this last week because I read that this week, and there's one part when Grifter and Zealot were gonna hook up, and she's wearing her new costume, and Grifter's like, I don't even know how to get any of this stuff off, and then it just next panel, it's like she's in her underwear, and he's like, I could have done that.
That's awesome.
But
I was gonna ask if they were a thing because I had no idea.
I mean, I really had no idea either until this. So, but what are you excited for in the coming week, man?
#1, undisputed. Wesley Dodds Sandman, #1. Mm-hmm. Also, I flipped through because I got it on Friday, I think. Batman the Madness. It looks cool. So yeah. I mean, just based off art, I will be picking that one up. And then I'll go with Hunger and Dusk.
Okay. I'm gonna say Batman Robin #2. First one was super freaking good. Then Green Lantern, and let's say Superman Lost. I still like that book a lot. But so the other day, this would have been probably a week or two ago, friend of the podcast, Jake Dilly, posted on his Instagram. He was like, 10 bands to get to know me. And it was, 10 bands that he really likes. So I was thinking, give me 4 comics that, to get to know you, but it has to be from the last at least 10 years.
Yes. So, well, let me see when this one.
Because if I don't say 10 years, for those that are listening, it will be like for Jake, Chuck Dixon's Nightwing, Thor by Simonson. Like those are just kind of for sure. So like with me, it's like, oh yeah, Runaways by Brian K. Vaughan and Starman by James Robinson. Like, we need to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. I'll save my number one for last, but man, I'm trying to find. Okay, perfect. This one was exactly 10 years old. Thor God of Thunder by Jason Aaron. Because I have to pick a Thor book, and that's the second best one out there. So,
and that's kind of what got you into Thor, right?
essentially, and I always thought Thor was cool, but that was the one that made me want to go back and like read old Thor.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's technically 11 years old, but I feel like I have to say it, and it's all thanks to Casey. Saga. I mean, damn.
And it's still coming out, so I say that one counts.
Yeah. And I want to do a DC one. A lot of my favorite DC books, though, are like older.
Yeah.
But just for something kind of recent, I'll say Batgirls. Because really, especially when I was first getting into comics, I read a fuck ton of Batman stuff. So to still stay with the Bat family and get something that captures that, but is still also fun and not super serious all the time, I think Batgirls fits that perfectly. And then my number one for sure is Die from Image. You know, it's Jumanji Dungeons and Dragons with just the best fucking art you've ever seen. So that's got to be my number one pick.
Nice. I'm excited to read that. It's in the pile. So for me, Rebirth, Flash, like just starting from there up to now, it's been one of the best books. Another one of the best books out here recently. I'm gonna go Daredevil by Zdarsky. Like Charles and like even Mark Waid's, like people give that one a bad rap, but he did something completely different with Daredevil that hasn't been done since before Frank Miller, really. So
and Mark Waid is the only reason I love Daredevil.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Daredevil fans hated it because they're like he got rid of a lot of the dark and gritty stuff, even though it's still angsty, but he was like actively trying not to be like dark and gritty. He was trying to fight that stuff, and it was really good. So like if you go with those two Daredevils, and like Souls is good. Like I'm not shitting on Souls, but it's not as good as either of those. And then I was gonna have Saga in mind, but since Jake said that, I'll take that out.
You still can if it's one of your most influential.
I'll say Reckless by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips because like they need to be on the list anyway. And I had another DC one that I thought of in my head, but now I should have wrote it down because it's like late and I'm not thinking properly. But
well, I mean, if I may, dude, just Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman. I mean, that's like the best Superman we've had in almost 10 years, I would say.
It's been a good while. Like, because I really liked Venditti's Superman when he was on Superman. Like that's the start of Rebirth, right?
I thought that was Gleason.
Oh, like because we had Gleason. I thought Venditti was on it too for a bit.
Maybe he was.
I don't know, but because when Rebirth started, we had some really good Superman, and then Bendis took over.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, I think, just I don't know, Venditti
because Jurgens was on it for a minute too,
right?
So I know, like, because we had like a couple different guys, and then Bendis took over both books, which is just the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Man, I don't remember. Like, I don't know. I'll say Batman Black Mirror. That one's still super good.
Right on. Yeah. I don't know. I like that. Whenever I read that in the notes, I thought that was a really good idea. All right. But that brings us to the end of the episode. We're hoping to get some fucking news here for you guys. And if the motherfucking USPS would deliver yes, would deliver Casey's comics, we'd have shit to talk about. But yeah, anyway, hopefully despite not a ton of comic talk, you guys have still enjoyed this week's episode. If you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, go to YouTube. That's 2worldspodcast on YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
Leave us a comment down below. Let us know what, influential comics that you have. So I'll be like, oh, for me, it's Bendez's Superman run. Because I like hot piles of garbage.
And come on, there's 2 or 3 of you that I know will come in and tell me the answer to this question, but leave it as a damn comment so we can read it on the podcast.
Yeah, we need the algorithm to work in our favor, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
And let us know what you think of our choices too. Maybe you're like,
yeah, if you hate it,
yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah. Make sure you tell Jake if you hate his though, via email and in person. But we'd love to stay in chat, but Jake's got to get me some meaty people to suck. Bye, guys.
Bye.